It was always a great struggle and a great sort of disappointment a lot of the time when we felt that there was, you know, sort of really good rock singles that deserved wider airplay on the station as a whole, and possibly, you know, inclusion on the main station playlist. You know, invariably there was no interest in that from, you know, from the sort of people involved in the more mainstream areas. So that was frustrating, you know, and often disappointing. The management at Radio 1 were kind of aware that it was a good idea to have a rock show. You know, there was obviously kind of some sort of demand for a rock show. I mean, they were never kind of open enough to the size of the demand in terms of giving, you know, giving sort of rock a greater prominence on the station as a whole. But they were, you know, content that there should be a rock show, and they were content that they had somebody, namely me, who wanted to do it for them. The style of the Saturday Rock Show with Alan Freeman was kind of dictated, obviously, by the, you know, the prevailing musical scene, which was, you know, very much kind of Yes, UFO, Pink Floyd. I mean, all of all these bands that were kind of evolving in that period. And towards the end of that show, towards in the sort of later 70s, obviously the big sort of reaction against all that happened, and punk came along, which Fluff hated absolutely. And then when he left in 1978 and the sort of Friday Rock Show started, that was kind of around the time that the sort of metal was beginning to come, you know, to make a sort of resurgence in a kind of small way. But there were some bands like Judas Priest, for example, who'd pre-existed the punk era, and, you know, were kind of beginning to sort of re-emerge again. So, you know, really when the Friday Rock Show started in '78, it kind of coincided with the start of a new, well, of the metal, and the new album, what became the new album movement. So it was actually a fantastic time, and that took the musical style in a quite different direction from the way it had been with Alan Freeman.